flooding, as it seems to happen in some capacity somewhere in the state most years. The Iowa Flood Center wanted to provide tools for people to track the threat of flooding and really understand the risks. Joining us today is Witold Krajewski. He's the director of the Iowa Flood Center. So you've developed the Iowa Flood Information System with a variety of tools available to Iowans. What are some of those tools that we can access, and how do they help?
Yes, that's correct. So the main function of the Iowa Flood Information System is that it integrates information from different sources, from the network of what we call bridge sensors that monitor streams and rivers throughout the state, from USGS stream gauges, from the forecast from the National Weather Service, from the forecast from our models that predict stream flow everywhere, and also the inundation maps that we have developed for pretty much every location. So it is that integration of information that is perhaps the most important tool. And now, in the context of the flooding on the Mississippi, a few years back, the Corps of Engineers, they developed inundation maps for different pools along the river, and they asked us to host those maps. So if you go to the Iowa Flood Information system, it is fairly easy to find those maps, and they provide, again, some useful context.
Yeah, you can really match the inundation maps up with forecasted crests and see what the impacts are in any particular area. It really helps you visualize those risks. Why did you see a need to develop these resources for Iowans?
Well, you guys were just talking about the flood of 2008, and I remember this event very well. And perhaps a general characterization of what was happening was that there was lack of information, and people were lost. They didn't know what was going on. Certainly the big storm that finally inundated Cedar Rapids, that came unexpectedly. To be fair, this was a flash flood event, very difficult, to predict. But in general, there was lack of information, and when the state leaders appointed the Iowa Flood Center and called us to action, this is what we wanted to change, first,
Sure,
to improve the information that is available to the people of Iowa.
So now, as we're dealing with this flooding on the Mississippi and these tools are out there, can you track how people are using them and what other resources or information might be helpful?
Yes. So in general, yes. I can say I don't have the latest numbers for the last few days, but I can say that over the last few years, the system, the Iowa Flood Information System, was visited almost 5 million times. So that's a good number.
Yeah, certainly a helpful resource for Iowans. As we know, we are going to be dealing with flooding most spring seasons. Witold Krajewski from the Iowa Flood Center, thank you so much for joining us today.